Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And show the deities. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Prabhuji, we can't hear you.
Prabhu, we cannot hear.
Yeah, Vamshi is taking Prabhu 1 minute.
प्रहलाद नारद पराशर पुंडरीक व्यासामृष सुख सौनक भीष्य दल्भ्यान रुक्मांग उधव विभीषण पल्गुनादिन पुण्यानि मां परम भागवतं नमामि. In the sloka which is I just recited, it speaks about all the great souls, the Mahatmas, great souls who are surrendered to Krishna. In that list, Prahalada, Narada, Parasara, Pundarika, Vyasa, Ambrisha, it goes on. But if you see this list here, the very first name has been mentioned here is Prahalada. Prahalada. So Prahalada is considered to be the Uttama of all the devotees. Why is considered to be Uttama is been already explained in the session that we are right now seeing. We are right now in the Canto 7, where in the last session we saw Hiranyakashipu. He wanted to be immortal, and therefore he did severe Ghora tapas, austerity, and in that Brahma was very pleased. He appeared in front of Hiranyakashipu, and over there Hiranyakashipu, as per the plan, he wanted to ask a boon where he can not die, immortal. But then Brahma said, I can only give you what I have. I myself have to finish my life once my project is over. Therefore, I can give you, ask for something else. Then he went and asked about I shouldn't be killed outside or inside the residence, any place. I shouldn't be killed on up on the sky or on the ground. I shouldn't be killed during the daytime or nighttime. I shouldn't be killed by that which has life or doesn't have life. I shouldn't be killed by any weapons. I I shouldn't be killed by Gandharvas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Kinkaras, and so forth. I shouldn't be killed by any animals. I shouldn't be killed by any humans. Okay, and this is the difference. Hiranyakashipu was pretty much very, very careful in putting his case in front of Brahma. But if you remember Ramayana, when it came to Ravana, he was so much more egoistic than Hiranyakashipu. The reason he was much more egoistic is because he also has asked for pretty much similar boon, but then he felt himself to be greater, that he didn't care or consider human and animal to be anywhere close to him. Right? He felt that what human is going to do to me, what animal is going to do to me. Therefore, he did not ask that boon of, I shouldn't be killed by human, or I shouldn't be killed by, happened. Those two were the cause of his death. So he felt himself like that, Ravana. Whereas in Hiranyakashipu session, he was asking all this thing, and Brahma was thinking, what am I going to do now? Pretty much he covered everything, and then finally he put a case that he was just exhausted. So he was exhausted, and then he took a little bit of health drink, and then he said that, well, I can't go on with this list. One simple thing, anything been created by you should not be cause of my death. Right? Remember this? We saw last. Anything that you created should not be cause of my death. And then Brahma, he became very happy. He said, thanks, my Lord. Because I myself have been created by someone. Therefore, he will take care of the rest. So we saw these things. And Hiranyakashipu went on doing what sort of things because he's now powerful, no one can kill him. He just started playing all these games with all the living entities and the brahmanas, rishis, munis. I don't know, went to Indra Loka and kicked everyone off. Some of them he retained and made them servants, including Yama, who everyone is afraid of. Everyone has become a kinkara, means servant of Hiranyakashipu. All the apsaras were dancing for the sake of Hiranyakashipu. So life was like that, having nice fun over there. Then in the session when he was explaining, Parishit Maharaj asked a question, which is actually asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj asked, why is that such a nice devotee, Prahlad, where you mentioned, has to be going through such a difficult time by his father? Why father has to behave like this? Never in history we see this one. Father is being cruel to his son, to the extreme case where he has to torture him to death, want to kill him. How is that possible? Why so? What is so great about Prahlad? Right? That's a session we were pretty much covering last session. And then on that, Narada Muni is explaining, what can I speak about Prahlad? We can keep on saying so many things about Prahlad because he's Mahatma. His great soul. Brahmanya Shila Sampannah, Satya Sando Jitendriya, Atmavat Sarvabhutanam, Eka Priyam Surittamaha, he said. Brahmanya Shila Sampannah, Satya Sando Jitendriya. He is always in Krishna consciousness. We are sometime in Krishna consciousness. Right? Sometime, yeah. Right? He always speaks truth. We sometimes speak truth. Okay, I want to be more on the positive side. We always speak false, that's fine, lies. He's always concerned about his Paramatma, Atma and Paramatma. He least worried about his body. That we see from his stories. Least he's worried about his body. Atmavat Sarvabhutanam. He sees everyone equally. He sees everyone equal. He doesn't see, so and so is my brother, so and so is not my brother, my sister, my uncle, and none of those things. My society, he's not from my society. He's black in color, I'm white in color, he's yellow in color. None of those things matters for him, because he is seen as Atma, and he sees everyone as part and parcel of Krishna, Prahlad. Okay. Yeka Priya Surtamaha is very, very caring and loving for everyone, towards everyone. We are also caring and loving, provided the other person also cares and loves us. Otherwise, we don't care and love other person. Or we are caring and loving to other people, provided they are in our good books. Right? They don't need to do anything good for me, but as long as they don't interfere in me, I'm good to them. When they start interfering in my thing, then they will know who I am. Right? Prahlad was not such a person. Yeka Priya Surtamaha is so loving and caring for every individual person. Jitendriya, complete control of his senses. Please understand what Narada Muni is speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj over here is speaking about not a 80-year-old man, 80-year-old man. He's speaking about a 5-year. You cannot find a 5-year kid with these qualities. And when Narada Muni is explaining about these qualities, Prahlad was 5 years. Okay, just imagine 5 years. At 5 years, he was having these qualities. That doesn't mean before 5 years he didn't have. Right from his birth, he was like that. How did he get this one? We'll see all those things. Prahlad himself will explain how he got into these things. And then Pitravat Dhina Vatsalaha. Pitravat is very, very respectful to his father. We are going to see today, because his gurus or teachers are going to tell, you have to respect your father. Chant your father's name. And then here, because he doesn't chant his father's name, Om Namo Narayanaya is going to say. But the teachers are going to tell what? Om Namo Hiranyaya. And he's not going to chant. Whereas Narada Muni is telling, he's very respectful father. If I'm asking what's your father's name, you're not going to tell your father's name. I don't like to tell my father's name. That means what type of respect you have to your father. But that's what is going to exhibit. But we'll see that when we get there. And then he's very respectful to his gurus. Vatsalya rasa is one of the qualities that's only comes from God. Vatsalya rasa. Have you in Krishna's Leela, now that Krishna's Janmashtami is coming up, there is one asura called Vatsasura. There's one demon called Vatsasura. Vatsasura means, Vatsa means a calf, not cow, a younger one, small cow. Calf is called Vatsa. Vatsalya is a term, the root of Vatsalya means parental affection. Vatsalya means parental affection. God has a parental affection towards us. What does it mean? Opposite, we'll see the opposite of what Vatsalya is. First, let's understand what Vatsalya means. Vatsalya means seeing the qualities are obvious in someone. But then even the bad qualities are seen as good qualities. And that is only possible when you have a Vatsalya rasa, a parental affection. Right? A son is doing something which is not right to be done, but still the parent has love and affection towards that person, that boy. Not the neighbor will have that affection to my son, but I will have the affection to my son because he's my son. Right? That's called Vatsalya rasa. The faults are seen as qualities in Vatsalya rasa. Please understand, because we are going to see the opposite of this one. The faults are seen as qualities. When it's seen as qualities, the person who sees the faults as qualities is called having a Vatsalya rasa. Now coming back to this, Vatsa means calf. You know, when the cow delivers a baby, calf, it doesn't go to born Jewish. Mercy. It doesn't find a gynecologist to deliver the baby and go through scanning of all those things. It just delivers a baby, right? And you all know that when the baby is born, still the connection from the baby and child still exists, even in animals. through the umbilical cord, right? It doesn't go and look for a nurse or a surgeon or something to cut these things off. Everything happens. And no one comes there. But when the baby is born, the calf is born, the calf is full of this blood, all sort of things that the natural, right? The baby comes out, it's not going to be taken shower and coming out, right? It's coming with all the things, whatever the things within the mother womb, everything comes out with that the same thing. We have the doctors to clean, nurse to clean. What about calf? Do you know what happens? Exactly. The mother licks the child. For us, it is somewhat not a very good thing to think about. It's abominable. It's disgusting to think about that. But the mother, the bad things are around the baby. But that doesn't seen as a bad, but seen as a quality in a child. So it just licks and completely cleans off the child. That is called Vatsalya. The meaning of Vatsalya means the Supreme Lord, only Krishna has that quality, special quality. Because as parents, we also sometimes get frustrated with our children. Yes or no? Right? We might not even 100% have that quality. We might have that quality as long as the baby is 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, something. When the child matures, becomes a teenager, already we start thinking about, oh my God, what all this I have to go through in teenage. And that means we are not in a position to accept the change in the children after they are teens. Where is the Vatsalya then? Therefore, we also have some limitations are there for us. But when it comes to Krishna Vatsalya, here it says that Prahlad is like that. He has that quality of Vatsalya. He doesn't see faults in people. He only sees good in people. That's a great quality one should have. So especially when we are among the devotees, among people, there are many things might happen in our dealings. But we have to emphasize and meditate and contemplate what is the best thing this person is doing. What are the good thing he is doing? Rather than meditating on the bad thing, we concentrate and meditate on the good thing. And when we start appreciating those good things, guess what? That person is going to... Yes. So therefore, it's Vidyartha Rupam Janmado Mana Tamba Vivarjitaha. This is another important point. 5-year child, you go to 5-year child, you score the 5-year child. Or the child does not get much impacted. Right? They just take it, they forget it. So we scold the child, and the child take it. Sometime they will get back, and they come back again. They totally forget. But if I tell you something, come on, I say something to you, do you immediately forget and come, Hare Krishna Prabhu, and as if nothing has happened? I haven't told you anything. We carry it. We might put off on our face that we have forgotten, but internally we all carry that feeling that, oh, he is the one who told me like this. He is the one. Right? That the traces and all those feelings are still there. Revenge. Then I'll wait for an opportunity. Right? I wait for an opportunity to tell something to that person indirectly or directly, somehow the other. Right? So, but mana apamana, whether you give respect, whether you don't give respect, for Prahlad it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter for him. Because he knows very well the reality of the world. Whoever praises me today could be the same people tomorrow spreading the news about me. How bad this guy is, whatever he is, horrible he is, etc., etc. And whoever is cursing me today may become a nice people tomorrow. We never, this is always happens in the world. And that's how the entire things happen. The politics works in that way, the corporate works in that way, the dealings happens in that way. So therefore, a person who is completely detached of, that is why it is said that you don't get carried away by the honor. You don't get depressed by dishonor. Because this changes. It changes. Therefore, whenever someone praises you, you hear, thank you, Hare Krishna. And then think that, let's see tomorrow if you do the same thing. Because you're appreciating me today because I am in your good books. Possible. If I'm not in your good book, you're not going to appreciate me again. It could be something else.
Right? Therefore, none of those things are seen in Prahlad. Prahlad does not go through any of these changes. And now the question is, if the son is so nice, with this wonderful quality, what's wrong with the father? What's wrong with the father? Why should he? The way that you are telling seemed to be he's a fantastic person, fantastic boy when he was 5 years old. Then why the father has to behave like this? Why he has to torture? Why he has to give a hard time? That's not what he's supposed to do. Why? Now he's going to tell the story. Narada Muni is going to tell the story to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Bhakta Prahlad, we'll see how Prahlad was born later. We'll go with the flow of how Bhagavatam takes us. That's how we are going to see here, chapter by chapter. Now Prahlad, we are on the chapter 5, Prahlad Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. Now, Hiranyakashipu has his Kula Guru, Shukracharya. Shukracharya is the guru of demons. And then Shukracharya had two sons, Sandha Amarka. Sandha and Amarka. They are two sons of Shukracharya. They took over the responsibility of running the Hiranyakashipu Institute of Technology, HIT. They were running this institute. The syllabus are all totally different. You're going to be amazed to see the syllabus here. Okay? And the curriculum, syllabus, the practical laboratory, all those things is totally different. In when we studied in our schools and colleges, if you have done zoology or biology, all those things, you deal with the plants, right? In biology labs, you deal with the. You go to the zoology lab, you deal with the cockroaches, or lizard, or mice, rat.
Snake.
Yeah, you just try to cut them off and see this is the lung. You do all those different things. And in Hiranyakashipu Institute of Technology, they also have labs, and their laboratory system is quite different. Right? They also cut. They also do everything, but with lively people. Lively people, they try to cut the hand, cut the hand. This is how you have to cut the throat. This is how you have to pull the tongue out. This is how you have to break the teeth. So that's how the practical things are taught over there. As I said, it's a different curriculum altogether, right? It's vigorous.
A little extreme.
Extreme case. So when Prahlad was there in the school, Hiranyakashipu was thinking it's time for my son. Hiranyakashipu liked Prahlad so much. Out of all his sons, his favorite son was Prahlad because he's a very nice guy. Therefore, it was time for him to go to school. Sanda and Amarka, the two teachers who were the main head of this school, they took the responsibility of Prahlad, and he was admitted to the school. And he was admitted to the school, and the school was going nicely, and the classes were going on, and he was listening. He's a very obedient boy. He was listening everything very carefully, attentively, nicely. And then he came back home one day. Prahlad came back home one day, and as a parent, Hiranyakashipu called for his son. My dear Prahlad, so how was your school? He said, fantastic, Dad. It was really amazing school. It's a private school. They are all at a private school. So it was a very nice school. They're teaching nice thing. So everything was going on nicely. And the father was asking, could you share something what you learned there? Do you like to share something? Because it's an important duty of parents, not that they only send the student to the school. It's also important the parents should make sure to know and check on what they are doing, how they are doing with their studies. Right? Therefore, as a nice father, Hiranyakashipu was a nice father. It's not an evil father. It all changed because of some reasons. We'll see that. Now, Hiranyakashipu was asking that, what did you learn over there? You want to share something? Could you tell some things of what you learned over there? He says this one, very beautiful. He said, Sri Prahlad Vacha, Tat sadhu manye asura vare dehinam tadha samudvigna dhyam asat grahat. Hitvatam patam griham andakupam vanam gato yet dharim ashrayete. He says, this is the sloka he says, the first sloka he says. He says that sadhu manye asura varya. He says that, my dear father, it is important that we should be associating with nice people and we should be careful and avoid bad people. And Hiranyakashipu, fantastic. Hiranyakashipu was fantastic. Very good. Wow, very nice point. And I just asked you a simple question, but the way you're responding is so poetic. Very nice. In the small age, you're so sweet. You're very intelligent. I like the point you said. Hiranyakashipu, I like the point you said. Prahlad is thinking something and telling something. And Hiranyakashipu is thinking something and appreciating. What Prahlad is telling is, asat means you should be away from the non-devotees, those people who are demons. You should be away from the demons. And you should be associating with Bhagavatas, the devotees. That's what Prahlad says. And for Hiranyakashipu, Bhagavatas are demons and their family is Uttamas, great people. Therefore, when he said this first line, he became very happy. Very, very happy. Now he goes on to the next one. Sada samudbhigam dhiyam asat grahat. Now he goes. Hitvatam patam griham antakupam. Grihadantakupam. He says, my dear father, the king, the greatest of all asuras, he addresses his fathers like this. Of greatest of all asuras, you are in Antakupam. Antakupam. You are fallen into the deep dark well. And this deep dark well does not have a water. Imagine that. It's a deep dark well, but no water in it. In villages, if you go in villages, some the wells are closed for good because they're so deep and we don't know what are the species living inside. There's no water, nothing. Even if there's water, it's not safe to drink those water. It is Antakupam. And Prahlad is comparing the material life that we are in is Antakupam. It's a deep, dark well. And that's where you are fallen, my dear father, the king of all asuras. My dear father. And then Hiranyakashipu was thinking, what? I am fallen into the deep well. Maybe there should be, I'm in a nice place. Everything is nice. Where is the well here? There's no well, nothing. What happened? My son, you are intelligent boy. If you're saying something, there should be some reason. Because you very nicely said bad association, good association, which I'm very captivated. Therefore, if I'm fallen into something, there should be some reason you're telling. What should I do? Tell me that. Tell me what should I do? He was just asking his son very lovingly. Now he says the last line. Vanam gatayat dharim ashrayeta. He says, my dear father, if you're asking for solution, it's only one solution. Ashrayeta. Dharim ashrayeta. Vanam gatoyat dharim ashrayeta. My dear father, one should leave everything and go to a place like Vrindavan or Mathura and then completely surrender and take shelter of Vasudeva, Krishna. The father started laughing. This is the first, there are many series going to happen. This is the first time. The father started laughing. He said, my dear son, are you normal? Is everything okay with you? What happened? He called for the teachers, Sanda and Amarka. They came. What are you teaching? What happened, my dear Lord? Hiranyakashipu, what happened? Well, he's talking all this nonsense. He's talking nonsense. This is not what is supposed to be taught. They said, we don't teach any of these things. We don't teach any of these bad things. That's what they said. We don't teach any of these bad things. The child is talking about Krishna and the teacher is telling bad things. The father is telling nonsense. What a combination, this family, right? I think there is someone else coming to the Gurukul some Vishnu's devotees are coming, and I think they are the one who's doing all this sort of things. So watch out. They can come, they are envious of me, my power. They may come somewhere in some form or something, and they are trying to influence my son. So please, put cameras, CDT camera everywhere, motion detector, right? All those things have to be set immediately. And let's install this app into the cell phone. Let me watch carefully what's happening. So the teacher said, okay, let's do it. And Prahlad went back. Prahlad went back and teacher said, Prahlad, what's happening? Who taught you all this thing? Whatever you're speaking like this, who's teaching all this unnecessary out of curriculum? Remember that you cannot pass out the exam if you're not going to follow the curriculum. If you're going to answer something different than what we teach, you will be failed. Remember, we will not pass you. You cannot. And then they were asking, where did you learn these things from? And Prahlad, instead of answering this question, where did he learn from? He started telling, well, I don't understand something that you speak, you teach. What did you don't understand? What is it you don't understand? Please tell us, we'll explain to you. You say that these people are my friends and these people are my enemies. I don't understand that one. Very simple, very simple. You should have asked us, instead of going and telling your dad all this unnecessary things, very easy to understand. These people are our enemies and these people are our friends. Asuras are our friends. Devatas are our enemies. Why you say that? Well, we are all Asuras. They do not belong to us. They are different people. They are Devatas. Therefore, they are our enemies. We have to be better than them. So they were going on giving some explanation of who are friends and who are not friends, who are favorable and who are not favorable. And Prahlad said that nothing makes sense to me. We are all Atmas. And where is the question of Asuras and Devatas? There's no Asuras and Devatas. It all comes on the bodily platform. We are all Atmas. Therefore, it is only the mind which is playing the game. The mind is the one which tells these people are our friends, these people are our enemies. These people are my friends and these people are our enemies. Udare atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. Atmaiva hi atmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmanah. The mind is the one which makes this game of friends and enemies. But a person who knows it is Atma, they see everyone equally. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Attine. He says these things over there. And then now the Sandal Amarka became quite angry. They said, Prahlad, listen, get the stick. Get the stick. So they took the stick. They said, listen now. If you're not going to listen to us, we're going to really strike you with a stick. And they started screaming and ready to they made actions that they're going to hit Prahlad. He was motionless. He was just quiet. He didn't react at all to any of these things. He was simply quiet. Rather, he was answering any of these things. He said that, why are you trying to do all these things? I am just being natural. You do whatever you want to teach. I am not disturbing you. You don't disturb me. But why is that? How is that you're getting these sort of knowledge? Where are you getting from? Well, if you take an iron and place it close to the magnet, what happens to the iron? Magnet pulls the iron. It is a nature. It naturally happens. You don't need to take the iron forcefully close to magnet. The magnet automatically pulls the iron. Likewise, it naturally happens for me. I'm already like the Lord is magnet. I am like an iron. I am easily or naturally get pulled by the Supreme Lord. I cannot stop this one. I cannot do anything. And this Santa in America said, you're already in the private school. Looks like we need to take tuition, special classes for you. So from today onwards, we'll have a couple of hours dedicated for you. outside our class hours, because you looks like you need some extra classes so that we can teach you the right things. So what happens? Sanda and America, they used to sit and teach Prahlad. They said, do not chant Narayana. And Prahlad said, Narayana. And Santa and America, do not chant Narayana. And Prahlad said, Narayana. Do not chant Narayana, 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 Narayana. Santa and America are thinking they know what they are doing, because in front of Hiranyakashipu they cannot chant Narayana's name, right? Because Hiranyakashipu will chop their head off. So they were thinking, what is the chance that we can also chant the name of Narayana? They thought about it. They thought about it, and they know this is the only way we can also chant the Supreme Lord's name. Therefore, indirectly, though they are saying, do not Narayana, do not chant Narayana, Narayana, do not Narayana, do not chant Narayana. So every day 2 hours they chant Narayana, and then while they are chanting, they keep a count. Do not chant Narayana. 100 class over, go on. So every day this is what is happening, like this. Every day it was happening. So summer break came. It was time for Prahlad to go back home and spend time with his parent. So this time he went back home. And his mother dressed him up nicely, and all those different things, whatever she needs to do, and sent the son to his father. Now, the father called his son, very happy to see his son. He touched the son's head and smelled his head, and affectionately said, my dear Prahlad, come. And then made him sit on the lap. And the son was sitting on the lap, and father was asking, tell me the best thing that you learned in your school. Best thing that you learned in your school. And Prahlad said, the famous Prahlad said, my dear father, of all the things that I learned in the school, this is what I understood. What is it? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. Katipumsadvidam Vishnu, Bhaktisim Navalakshanam. He said there are 9 lakshanas, 9 important things in the process of bhakti. If one picks up any one of this process, guaranteed they will go back to Krishna. They will go back to Krishna. So this 9 process, where one should start hearing, chant the name of the Lord, and then Vishnu Smaranam, think about the Lord, Pada Sevaram, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, offering prayers, offering archanas, articles, and then always remembering, Samarpanam, giving yourself to the Lord. What happens is, I tell this particular story, analogy, that in Bhagavad Gita, where we might follow everything in our life, pakka devotee, everything. But then when it comes to the final point, there is one thing is there, Krishna puts a check over there. Why did he do this for? I'm free of anger, free of lust, free of everything. I'm doing complete service to the Lord with love and everything, following everything. But then when it comes to the final step, why did you do all those things? Is the question. If it is a snake and ladder, there's a game called snake and ladder.
Yeah.
Right? So you play this, you roll the die, whatever your number cuts, you have to move the coin. And then if you get the ladder, you are promoted. And if you hit the mouth of the snake, you will be descending down, you will be thrown down to a lower line. There are many, many snakes are there in the snake and ladder. But there is one snake on the 98 or 99, there are 100 numbers totally. And 100 is Vaikuntha, Goloka, Vaikuntha, Goloka, the supreme abode of the Lord. Okay. And there's one snake, the very last snake. When you hit that last snake, it will throw you right down. It will be completely down. And that snake is where the test is. Now, when we say, Om Narayana Namaha, Narayanaya Namaha, Keshavaya Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha, Madhusudanaya Namaha, Vikramaya Namaha, Namaha, we say this Namaha, right? What is the meaning of Namaha? Namaha means, Ma means mine, Na means not. I do not belong to me. Namaha. I do not belong to me. That means what you belong to. Whom do you belong to? I belong to you, Krishna. I belong to you, Krishna. That is what Namaha means. Namaha means, I am doing this, or my purpose of existence is not for my sake. My purpose of existence, my purpose of doing whatever I've been doing so far in my life, it's all for your sake, for you, for your pleasure. Are you not getting any happiness? No. Are you not getting some sort of, I'm chanting now, sometimes I'm getting some sort of a feeling, some sort of a happiness, and some sort of, I'm not interested in any of those things. Because if I get interested in any of those things, my track of bhakti will change towards me, not towards you. Therefore, everything is for you, my Lord, Namaha. That is why I'm doing everything for satisfying you. Then what is the happiness for you then? If you're doing everything for my sake, so you become like a non-sentient being, right? Non-sentient being where you don't have any happiness at all. Well, I do derive happiness. How? How? Example, right? Mother sits to eat. Mother sits to eat her lunch. At that point of time, the child comes, coming running from the playground, saying that, Mom, I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry. And mother immediately stops eating. Mother doesn't say, hold on, don't you see, I'm eating already. Wait for 10 minutes. Wait for 10 minutes. Let me finish mine and then I'll come. She immediately gets up from the place. She feeds the son, daughter, whoever it is. And when the mother sees her kid eats, mother has not eaten yet. But when the mother sees the son eats, that the child eats, won't the mother feel already eaten? As emotional feeling, I mean, physically it may not be there. But emotionally, don't the mother feel, do you want a little more extra? Can I get you one more cup of curd rice or whatever it is? Right? So she totally forgot about what she has to eat. Likewise, the bhaktas, when Krishna becomes Sri Krishna Balaram Sai Gaurnataraj ki, when Krishna sees that when the devotee sees that Krishna is happy, they become happy. That's the only happiness that they have. When they see Krishna smiling, seeing your bhakti, and that makes us happy. And that means you pass that bigger snake, that point of time. And that snake is a very dangerous snake. I did all this bhakti for my satisfaction, for me to be happy. Then there's a problem. When I'm saying for me to be happy, this person has already passed through that material pleasures. I'm not talking about the material pleasure. He passed through those things. When it comes to the 99, that is different. That is, I did everything for myself, means my Atma, for my Atma. My Atma. First of all, it is not your Atma. What is the question of my Atma? That is called Atmani Vedanam. That last point that Prahlad says, if you are thinking this Atma is yours, then you are a thief. You are a thief. First of all, we are thinking our salaries are ours, our children are ours, our parents are ours, my everything is ours. This question is, Krishna is telling, Atmani Vedana means your Atma is not yours. What is the question of the belongings that you're talking that yours? Nothing is yours. A person who surrendered himself, Atmani Vedanam. this Atma is also yours. It's not mine, yours. And that is the last catch that one has in the path of spirituality. In this path of spirituality. And when they pass through that, they are with Krishna. They are with Krishna. As soon as Hiranyakashipu heard this one, he just pushed his son. He pushed his son. What? He really became very angry, very upset. This is not my son anymore. He is not my son anymore. He is my enemy. It's okay to hear. It's okay. Okay. You're not. He's this guy. This is no more my son. He's my enemy. My enemy should not live any further. Kill him. Kill him. He is a devotee of my enemy. Therefore, he is my enemy. Therefore, he is my enemy. Have you had any experience in your relationship with your family members or friends where you say, for example, if you don't like someone, okay, and then your brother, Ravi, yeah. Brother, yeah. Okay, younger, older, younger brother, okay. And I'm not going to ask too many questions, okay? But just assume, I'm going to make assumptions here, okay? Do you have, say you have your uncle, and your uncle doesn't have, your father doesn't like your uncle. Okay, your father doesn't, your uncle. And then therefore your father says to you, you don't talk to that guy. Because I don't have a good relationship with him, I don't talk to him, you should also not talk to him. Sometimes relationships goes in this extreme case where, this continues for many generations. People will forget where it all started, but one family and another family will not talk to each other. Simply because when this person went to his house, that guy forgot to give him papad, extra papad. That's where it started, extra puri. One extra puri he failed to give. He got upset and angry. You gave puri to him, not to me. I will never ever step into your house. Right? Now the two families fight with each other without even knowing that actually 10 generations back, they fought for one puri. And now they are not talking to each other. So people have this idea that if I don't talk to you, none of my relatives, my friends should also talk to that person. They all have to cut off the relationship. Hiranyakashipu was thinking the same way. He said, my brothers was killed by Vishnu. Therefore, Vishnu is my enemy. My brother's enemy is my enemy. You are Vishnu's devotee. Therefore, you are also my enemy. You are also my enemy. You should be killed now. Take him. Right away. Take him. Do whatever you all want to do. Kill him. I don't want the son anymore. And then all this high-pitched voice, screaming and shouting and with red eyes, all those things were going on. Full drama was going on over there. But Prahlad was just simply quieting, no reaction at all. Internally, he was just simply Narayana, 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 Narayana. Internally, he was just meditating Narayana. That's all he was just doing. He was chanting. But the Asuras all came, took Prahlad. They took Prahlad. They did not wait any further. Ready to start their work, order. So time? Okay. So they took him. One more nice sloka, which I forgot to say here when Prahlad was saying this one. Prahlad was saying, you rascal, most fallen of our family, if you have not received this education from your teacher, where have you gotten it? He's asking his son. You rascal, like that. And then Prahlad says this beautiful thing. He said, Matirne Krishne Paratah Swatava. He says, Matirne Krishne Paratah Swatava. Mito abhibatvayate griha vritanam ananda gopir vishatam tamishram puna puna charvate charvananam. Puna puna charvate charvananam. So before Prahlad was thrown out, Prahlad was telling this particular beautiful point. Let me read this translation. He says, because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too attached to the materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Puna punas charvata charvita charvananam. My dear father, therefore, you have to take up the process of bhakti that I mentioned to you. Pick up any one, that is fine. Fix on yourself and remember Narayana, the Supreme Lord. You see, in the world, people are simply chewing the chewed. Chewing the chewed, meaning where you chew, you have a bubble gum or chewing gum, right? The small thing you chew, you put it. Within first 1 minute or so, all the juices are already taken out. Whether you take that mint flavor or whatever the flavor it may be, you put the chewing gum in your mouth, you chew, all the juices are taken out. And then what is remaining, it just has nothing, no substance in it. It's just a matter how much people chew on the same thing continuously for half an hour, 1 hour, and so forth, right? If you're in India, those chewed one is, if you're in India, you can find those chewed in your seat where you're sitting. People like that, they will spit it on the chair. Whoever is coming and sitting on the seat next time, they are stuck to the seat. Right? That's what happens. The chewing the chew, every time we try to do the same thing, we have all got enough experience of enjoying the material senses. But again and again and again and again and again, we try to chew the chewed ones. What's the use of doing this one? And a blind man is guided by another blind man in the world. What happens is everyone is blind, and this blind is guiding the other blind. Blind in spirituality, that means. A person who doesn't have a spiritual knowledge are blind. And what are those people are going to guide other people when they are already blind? There's nothing they can do. So that means people are completely entrapped into the material whirlpool of existence. Therefore, the only thing that we have to do, Prahlad says here, the only thing we have to do is Mahiyasam Pada Rajo Abhishekam. He says, the best thing that we all have to do, my dear father, this is talking to his father. My dear father, the best thing we have to do is take the dust from the feet of the devotees and smear on your body. I don't know how much courage it requires to talk to someone like Hiranyakashipu. This 5-year-old boy is telling, my dear father, you are in a deep well, dark well. You are chewing the chewed. You're going to hell. Right? He's telling this thing. But there is an option where you can get rid of all those things by following the process. Nava with a bhakti. Anyone, by remembering, taking ashraya, taking shelter of Narayana, by chanting his name, and especially take the dust from the devotees and smear on your body. When Hiranyakashipu heard this one, that's a max. It just got into his nerves. He just pushed off his son. This is no more my son. I lost my son. This is no more my son. Take him. Finish. Kill him off. Because Hiranyakashipu said there's no second discussion or thoughts or any of those things. So they took him. And we know what all they tried to do. He was rolled off from the top of the hill. When he was rolling off from the hill, what will we all do? If we have been falling off from grace, what will you do? we'll try to protect by ourselves. What we try to do? Sometimes we try to land by our hand, like this, we'll try to land by our hand, right? And then what do we do? Ah, ooh, some sound, some crazy sound we'll make. Usually people make a crazy sound when they fall off or hit or something. Hutch, ouch, ouch. All those different sounds will come. But this boy, when he was being rolled off from the top of the hill, you know where his hands were? Yes, he was holding like this. It is unusual. If you have an experience, please try to jump and see where your hands will go. Then it will make much more sense. But don't jump from the temple building, please. Anyway, when Prahlad was rolling off, he was holding tight to his chest. Okay, it's unusual. In his consciousness, he was thinking, now that I'm rolling, I'm fully aware that he is rolling. It's not that I am not the body, I'm nothing. It's not like that. He is fully aware that his Atma is rolling off who's in the body, but he also fully aware that along with my Atma, there's a problem. Along with my Atma, my Supreme Lord is also there. Paramatma is there. If rolls, it will disturb him. He will also roll inside. Therefore, let me hold to him. That means he's thinking he is protecting Krishna, who is situated in his heart. He himself is rolling and going to die. His life in a situation where he is trying to save is Paramatma. Now we can understand why Narada Muni says is Mahatma, great devotee. Right? He's trying to save Paramatma. Therefore, the Lord himself appeared and protected Prahlad, caught hold of him. And all this Asuras thought, he rolled off, he's finished. They were just walking back. And they turned back and saw this boy walking and coming behind. Arey, what is this, double action or what? Or some booth is coming or something is coming. They started running. But he was just turning and looking at him, and they could see the feet on the ground and everything was normal. They understood that this is not, some pichas or booth. He is still alive. He said, Arey Prahlad, what happened? Okay, first attempt, failure, no problem. We have many, many programs. If you fail in this, Hiranyakashipu, right? Institute has a lot of techniques to kill people. So he said, this is not a problem, no problem. Do this one. That elephant that we have is very, 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 very mad. It's a mad elephant. Okay? Let the elephant smash him into pieces, make him into juice. Let's take him to the elephant. And then the elephant was removed from the chain. The elephant is running and coming and running and coming to finish off Prahlad. Prahlad was in his Narayana, 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 Narayana. He was just seeing the elephant. Narayana, 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 Narayana. Now for us, when tornado is coming in Illinois, we're already in the basement here. Right? When somewhere something happens, we are already in fear. Just imagine here, the elephant is crushing and coming to mash you. It's coming. And then Prahlad was in peace. He was seeing the elephant and remembering, my dear Lord, you are also present within this elephant as Paramatma. He was remembering the Lord within this big elephant. You are within this big elephant, also in the small ant. And the elephant, which was ready to kill him, he just slowed down. He didn't do anything. Instead, he came and touched the head of the boy and went. Touched the boy head and went. Then they thought, okay, let's fire. So they made the fire and threw Prahlad into the fire, thinking that now it's done. What else he can do now? He'll be finished into ashes. But when he saw the fire, rather than the fire burning him, It was cool for him because he was seeing the Lord. If this fire, he was seeing the Lord which is so effulgent, he was thinking the Lord, how effulgent he will be. When he started relating the fire to the beautiful form of the Lord, effulgency, then the same fire become like a cool air for him. It happened, same thing happened for Hanuman also in Ramayana. In Ramayana, where Hanuman's tail was put into fire, but it was not burning him. Neither Hanuman was praying, my dear Lord, they are putting the fire on my tail, please protect me, save me. Nor Prahlad was praying, now I'm into the fire, please my Lord, protect me. Not one time he prayed for his protection. Not one time he prayed for the protection. Then they were thinking, what is this? What's happening here? Put him into the cave. The cave has lot of snakes, cobras, black snakes, all varieties of snakes are there. Very, very poisonous snake, venomous snakes. They pushed him into the cave. No one dared to go inside. They pushed him inside. He simply coolly was staying inside. Again, Narayana, 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 Narayana. Please remember, whenever I'm saying this, at any situation, is saying Narayana, 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 is not chanting for the protection. All the time he is chanting. It's his habit. For us, we only chant when we are doing 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 16 rounds. We have to observe ourselves. Is our tongue chanting outside of 16 rounds that we are chanting? When our tongue vibrates after we have completed prescribed rounds, then we have some little bit of taste for the holy name. Little bit. If it only does as per the prescribed numbers, then it's not a discouraging thing. That means we have to work more. We have to work more. But that is why Prahlad is chanting the name of the Lord. His tongue doesn't stop chanting Narayana's name. So when he saw the snakes, all the snakes, have you seen snakes smiling? Do you know how snake smiles? Yes, you know, bro. Biting we know, but snake smiles. Prahlad could see the snake smiling. Don't ask me to show how does a snake smile. I cannot do that. But snake smiles seeing Prahlad, because the Prahlad, when he saw the snake, he was remembering the Lord who was resting on the Anantasesh. Anantasesh, the big snake, where the Lord sleeps, right? Sleeps on the bed. His bed is different than our bed, right? People always want to have a nice bed, like last night we discussed. Want to have nice bed, water bed, air bed, cushion bed, this bed and different bed. How about sleeping on a snake bed? Think about sleeping. Do we get a good sleep or not? Snake bed, sleeping on a snake bed. And you don't know, there's a description has been given about the snake bed. We'll talk about that later. But this snake is so soft and so smooth and so cool and so nice, right? So Prahlad was remembering the Lord. It's the same family where Anantasesh, where my Lord sleeps on him. The snakes all started playing with him. Hey, they started playing with him. And Prahlad walked out, came, and they were all amazed. They were really amazed. What's happening here? What's happening here? Oh, give him the poison. That's the only way. Now let him drink poison. Give him poison. So they gave him the poison to drink. When the poison was given to him, he was offering it to the Lord, because he does not eat anything without offering to God. That's a lesson for us. We should never eat anything without offering to Krishna. Therefore, mentally he was offering, my dear Lord, please accept this prasad. this bog. Right? He doesn't know it has promise. I'm sorry, he doesn't know that it has a poison. So the Lord accepted it. And when the Lord accepts it, where the question becomes prasadam. Therefore, Prahlada happily took. You want extra one more cup, please? If we were another, we'll ask extra cups. Prahlada just happily took this and drank. And then everyone were watching now. Now see, he will die. And Prahlada, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Chant. Last few more times you're going to chant. Then you'll fall down. And he was Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. They're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Nothing happened. But they were looking closely, and his eyes was going like this. Narayana, look, his eyes are now is going off. It's going off. They were thinking he's going to faint and fall off. But then he was going in height of an extreme case in bhakti, in prema bhakti. Therefore, he fainted because of bhakti, not because of the poison. He got up and he walked. Then the Santa and Amarka, they said that Hiranyakashipu is a small boy. Let us give him another chance. Let him give him one more chance. This time we'll take him. We'll make sure he learns everything nicely. And then we'll come back. You'll see a change. This time we'll know how to deal this guy. We'll take care of him. And but Hiranyakashipu accepted the proposal, but he was completely bewildered. Then you're saying, what is that? How is that this boy is not, we're not able to kill this boy? He was contemplating, thinking, I know why I'm not able to kill this boy. He had a logic. Logically, he started thinking now. I know why, what's the reason behind. You know what? I did tapasya, right? And asked for the boon from Brahma. Brahma gave me the boon. That boon that I got is mine. And the son is my son who came from me. Therefore, that boon has transferred to him. I think that's the reason I'm not able to kill him. He didn't decide on that. He was just contemplating. That could be the reason why I'm not able to kill him. That could be the reason. Okay, let's give him one more chance and see if he changes. And the teachers took him to the school back again. And the teachers became really, wild, saying that, you see, you better obey to us. Now you please chant, Om Hiranyaya Namah. Staying in the temple, I should not be chanting like this in front of the deities. Om Hiranyaya Namah. He was just telling these things. So he was saying, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Hiranyaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Hiranyaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha. This is what's going. The teachers become very angry. They said, what are you doing this? Why are you doing like this? You know you'll be killed by your father? All we are trying to tell you is chant your father's name. I'm not telling to chant Indra's name. What is wrong in chanting your father's name? You have to be an obedient son. And Prahlad said, my dear teacher, if you are asking me to chant my father's name, then you should tell the same thing to other students also. They should chant their father's name. But you're telling everyone to chant my father's name. I don't understand that. Listen, don't ask this question, these sort of questions. Chant your father's name. Be a nice son, obedient son. And Prahlad said, I already chanted my father's name. When did you chant? When did you chant? Before coming to school, every day I go to my father, touch at his feet and pray to him and then come to school. You're doing that, right? Why don't you chant that? Well, at privacy, one can do that. To their father, they can pray. When it comes to a common place, you don't pray father in common place. You have to pray to a person who is common to all. Prahlad is saying this. When I am at my home, I can pray to my father. I can praise my father. When we are in a public place, in a common place, you have to select a person who is common to everyone and chant his name. And that one person who is common to everyone is Narayana. Therefore, please change the curriculum, change the syllabus, and everyone should chant Narayana's name. Listen, this is becoming too much. This is becoming too much. From tomorrow onwards, we'll start class on time. And because what happens is, their school only starts quite late. Unlike the starts at early in the morning by reading Brahma Muhurta time. Right? The school starts by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. But by the time these Santa and Amarka gets up and finish everything and come to the school, it'll be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock for them. Close to 9. Before these teachers come, the class would be already started. Who's teaching? Who started the class? Prahlad has already started the class. Understanding this one, the teacher, now they got up early and they came 1 hour before. Now that Prahlad saw that the teacher are coming 1 hour before, he got up 2 hours before and started the class. This was going on. And we will see in our next session how Prahlad teaches to his peers. What are the messages, how he teaches, beautiful, very beautiful points and slokas are there. Prahlad's instructions to his classmates, and the boys are going to ask Prahlad, we are all in the same school, same teacher, where did you learn these things from? And that's when we are going to see the birth of Prahlad, where he learned from, how he was born, what happened to him. All those things will be in our next session. With that said, we'll stop here and open up for any discussions or questions.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Hare Krishna.
I like the class very much, and it was very important that when 5 years old boy was that much good devotee.
Thank you for sharing the realization that you liked the story very much, because you said how a 5-year-old boy is and such a nice devotee. So therefore, whoever the children are here listening to these stories, and also don't miss the next class where what he's going to teach, you should also try to remember Krishna all the time. That's very important. Okay, and chant Krishna's name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. Any other questions?
Prabhuji, why did Brahma give Hiranyakashipu the boons when he knew that he was going to be a bad person?
Repeat.
Why did Brahma give Hiranyakashipu the boons, even though he knows man is such a bad person?
You are a very wonderful question. Very intelligent question. Thank you. So, if you join a company and you do your job in your company, is the company not obliged to pay you? Answer is yes. You go to the company, you do your job, and the company is forced to pay your salary. Right? Likewise, the devatas, the gods, when you do certain puja, certain prayers, they have no other option. They are forced to give the benediction. That is their department, that is their policy. If they don't do so, they'll be out of their job as Brahma, Indra, Varuna, and so forth. Therefore, if you do certain puja, they are bound to give the result of that puja. Irrespective of whether you're a good person or a bad person, that's what they do. And that's known, well known by all these asuras. Therefore, they pray to Brahma, Shiva, and so forth to get these boons. Therefore, the devatas give what we want. But when we pray to Krishna, Krishna gives what we need. There's a difference between what we want and what we need. Krishna does not give everything that we want. Rather, he will only give what we really need in our life to cultivate bhakti. Does that answer your question? Yes, Brahma knows. Even though he knows this one, he is forced to give because that is his job. And he knows very well that he is doing his job and Krishna will take care of the rest. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay. But nice question. Thanks for asking that question. Any other questions? Yes.
I was wondering, Prahlad Maharaj is obviously he's a beautiful body, that's without a doubt. But I'm trying to. It's interesting that when he tries to remember the Lord in all these difficult circumstances when they're trying to kill him, he really meditates on the Lord in the form of a Paramatma. Does not necessarily see him as a person.
No, he sees as a person, right? In the heart, he is residing as Paramatma. Yeah. In the heart, he is residing as Paramatma. Therefore, he sees as Paramatma.
So he still sees God as Bhagavan.
Yeah. So the question for those who are online who did not hear, the question is: did this Prahlad sees the Supreme Lord as Paramatma or Bhagavan? He sees him as Paramatma. He understands the ultimate understanding. His understanding is Krishna as Bhagavan. But he is also residing in the heart. Therefore, he sees Paramatma also. Yes, Pavan. Yes, you want to turn the, is it okay to turn the camera? Or you want to take the mic? 1 second.
So the first question about the Hiranyakashipu did a lot of austerities and he asked for the boon from Brahma. So he couldn't think beyond Brahma because that's what his maximum thinking capacity of maximum powerful person on the existence of his knowledge. And is it because that he has the conception of Vishnu who killed his brother, so but he does not, basically he does not accept the authority of Vishnu bigger than the Brahma. That's why he
Yes. He thinks Brahma is the only creator. He created everything.
Oh, including Vishnu.
Including
Okay. Ram. Jai. So that is the reason he couldn't contemplate beyond like creation of Brahma. That is true. It's like Mayavadis, like the people who believe in Brahma, like Brahma Jyotis, they want to merge in that, and that's ultimate salvation for them. Something like that we can say. That kind of person Hiranyakashipu was.
No, he wants to take the role of Brahma.
Or lower than that. So he is more of.
He wants to be like Brahma. He wants to become a Brahma.
Oh.
Become a Brahma. He wants to become a Brahma. So that was the idea.
Oh.
That was the idea. He wants to be the God.
Mm-hmm. And the second thing is this Vatsalya. So you explained that the relationship between Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu was very much affectionate. It was a Vatsalya, like he really liked his son. Hiranyakashipu liked Prahlad as a person in the beginning, like when he was a child. But moment he came to know that he does not accept the authority, that whole Vatsalya affection kind of just, yeah.
So do I have to repeat the first question and answer? That's okay. All right. Okay, the question is, first of all, Hiranyakashipu did not have that Vatsalya bhava. He's very much into the materialistic idea of father and son relationship.
If he had the Vatsalya Rasa, he would have seen the fault as quality. He did not have that Vatsalya Rasa. When we spoke about Vatsalya, we were speaking about Vatsalya quality of Prahlad, not about Hiranyakashipu. A 5-year-old boy has that quality. It's just unimaginable. Right? So maybe I didn't make it that time clear. This is what it is. Not about the Hiranyakashipu, about the Prahlad having the Vatsalya Rasa.
But because I was thinking that if that quality is so powerful, how can it just be switched off because of one? So it's mine.
Oh, I forgot to tell what that reminds me one last point. I'll tell that one. I know it's 12:06. One last point. It is important because we saw about Vatsalya Rasa. The opposite of Vatsalya is Asuya. Asuya means Vatsalya means seeing faults as quality, good quality. Whereas opposite of that is seeing the good qualities as faults. Asuya, and that is enmity, jealousy.
That's what he.
Exactly. That's what I want to connect here. So he was not showing Vatsalya Rasa, he was Asuya. Asuya means he was envious or jealous about his son. Because good qualities are seen as bad. Opposite of Vatsalya. Any other questions or we are done?
Prabhuji, I have a question. Hare
Yes.
Krishna. And
Please.
so Prahlad Maharaj was a very great devotee of the Lord, and he was born from Hiranyakashipu's house. So why he was actually born from a demon's house? Is that because of his past life something?
Okay, thank you. So let me repeat the question. Prahlad is such a great devotee. Hiranyakashipu is a demon, was a demon. Then why did Prahlad take birth from Hiranyakashipu? There are many lessons we have to learn from here. Very first lesson is that we don't have a choice where we are going to be born. Number one, none of us have a choice where we are going to be born. Okay, we'll be born based on our karma. We don't have a choice to select who our father and mother are. It all happens by our karma. Right? Whether you like it or you don't like, they are your parents. And parents like their children or not, they are their children. It's done deal. Now, next one is Prahlad. Another important point is that where the birth does not define the birth does not define whether one can be a devotee or not a devotee. One can be born in any family, but they can still become a wonderful bhakta, wonderful devotee. How can you explain this one to everyone unless and until if the history has some stories? Makes sense? If I am telling that birth does not matter, anyone can become a devotee. You don't not necessary. You have to be born only in this family. You have to be born in a Brahmana family to become a bhakta. Then only you can perform bhakti. Well, that means there is only certain number of Brahmana family in the whole world, and rest of them are all non-Brahmins. What about them? They will not get moksha. They will not get bhakti at all. The answer is, irrespective of where a person is born, they can be devoted to God, Krishna. And we can only tell if we have some proof. And the proof is Prahlad. Prahlad, born in a demonic family. Father is a demon. The whole hierarchy, parampara is demon parampara. But he was born. That proves that irrespective of wherever you are born, you can cultivate bhakti. Likewise, irrespective of wherever you are, okay, whether you are in St. Louis or whether you are in India, it doesn't matter. One can cultivate bhakti. Where do we learn this from? From Ramayana. From whom? Vibhishana. Lanka. He was in Lanka. Ram was in India. Ram was in India. Vibhishana was in Lanka, like we are in St. Louis. All the holy places and holy dham and everything in India, but we can still cultivate that bhakti like Vibhishana did. Prahlad was son of Asura. His father was an Asura. Vibhishana was born in a Rakshasa family. He also a great devotee. Does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. It is 12:10. If you have any more questions, please write it down and we can discuss in our next session, next class. Anything to announce? Ashok Prabhu?
We'll keep the stream if they want to see the darshan.
So what we are going to do is we are going to turn the camera to the deities going on right now. Whomever want to take darshan and watch the Aarti Seva, please do so. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. We'll also be doing some kirtan.